All right, we're live.
Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, the 13th, if I'm correct, March 2019. Yesterday, something was said that for the first time should give everyone the shocking truth about how Islam feels about former President Obama. Many of us have felt for a long time that he was Muslim, certainly more Muslim than American. But something happened yesterday that proved to me that at least the Islamic world believes he is. Does anybody know what it was? Can anybody tell me what happened yesterday? Well, since we can't talk back and forth very easily, let me get to the punchline. It had to do with Representative, I believe her name is Omar. She is the Muslim representative, the one that spoke so harshly of Israel. That's not what it was. Yesterday, in a brief interview that I saw, they were giving her questions and she wasn't answering them. And as she rushed through the door, she said something shocking. She said, when they asked to compare, did she compare Trump to President Trump to former President Obama? She said no, or that's silly, some comment. And she said, President Trump, I'm paraphrasing, don't get me wrong, the words are right, but the phrasing, she said President Trump was not human. Not human. Now, some thought that was another racist comment. But it's more than a racist comment. You see, in the Islamic world, any person that is not following Islam is not human. Not human. So in as much she was saying Obama was human and Trump was not. So in their world, if Trump was not human and Obama was, what does that mean? It means Obama must be, in her mind, a Muslim. So now, what I've tried to tell y'all for a long time about Islam, and they hate us, but it's more than hate. In their faith, in their religion, we are not human. So therefore, it's perfectly acceptable to lie, cheat, kill, do anything they want, just like we would to a bug. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel when we've spent so much money in the Islamic world, in the Middle East, trying to get along, how to get along with people that believe you're subclass, you're inhuman? Think about it. I know today, in the face of socialism taking over America, worrying about whether Muslims think we're human or not may not seem that important. Of course, today the news is whether Paul Manafort got the right sentence, too long, too short. To the Democrats, I would say to anybody facing 7 years nearly in prison, that may seem like a short time to you, but at Manafort's age, 7 years, 6.5 years in prison is plenty penalty. Plenty. Now, I believe he should pay as it turns out, I believe he should pay for any crime that he's committed, as should any of us. But for the Democrats to complain he didn't get enough time is a little bit below the belt. Another thing that has come out in the past couple of days is that the transcript from, what's her name?
Lisa Page.
Lisa Page. Her transcript has come out. Now, prior to hers coming out, Moore's transcript came out. In both transcripts, excuse my coughing, I'm trying to keep my throat clear where you can at least sort of understand me. But in both transcripts, they point out that they were ordered by Loretta Lynch to stand down on the investigation of Hillary Clinton before any investigation even took place. So if, once again, someone needs proof of a double standard in our legal system, that one should just hit you right in the mouth. Here they are saying that Loretta Lynch, Attorney General, told them to stand down. Incredible. Incredible that it be said out loud. Incredible that it be testimony sworn to in front of Congress. The more incredible, nothing has been done about it. That means we're at the point with William Law, our new Attorney General, President Attorney General. We're fixing to find out if he's the real deal, or if he's just another one of them. Another one of the system, the deep state, if you will. See, Mr. Barr has choice right now. In light of two significant sworn testimonies that corroborate each other, and I happen to know, that Congress has two more testimonies under oath that corroborate those. With that information, he should be calling for an investigation very, very soon. Now remember, we're just now finding out about these statements. I would assume, maybe I'm wrong, but I would assume he already has them and is aware of it. Now the pressure's on him. What will he do? Folks, we're going to find out pretty quick whether Mr. Barr's a real deal for this country or not. We truly are. We also found out in her testimony something that I have tried to tell y'all or people that were listening to me back then, months ago, that the insurance policy that they knew about, Strong, Page, or Comey, the insurance policy they knew about and were talking about in their text messages or emails, whatever they were, was that they were going to use the fake dossier, Steele dossier, to start a process on Trump that even if he was elected, they fully intended to impeach him. That was their insurance policy. They felt if they were not caught, which they had no reason to believe they would be caught, and if he was elected and got in office, that they would bring the book down on him and he would surely be impeached. Well, guess what? That plan didn't work out so hot. It's caused a great deal of trouble, I will admit. It has caused this nation to go through a horrible, horrible time. It's caused this nation to split up at a time when we should be unified. So I would say they've done a lot. this country. And they should be punished. They shouldn't be running free. They shouldn't be out looking in on people like Manafort going to jail, Cohen going to jail, people like General Flynn facing going to jail when the crimes they committed against this nation far exceed in damages to the country anything those people could have possibly done. And let's not forget the queen of all criminals, Hillary Rodham Clinton. She's lied under oath. She's lied to the American people. She used the Clinton Foundation as a piggy bank. She used the Clinton Foundation as a way to buy power, to coerce people, coerce entire countries. And she runs free. Nobody dare be bringing her before a judge. And as long as they don't, as long as you don't hear charges brought against Hillary Clinton for the crimes that have been brought out already publicly, although not charged, as long as there are not indictments to her munchkins, all of the people that supported her and covered for her, this country can never heal. It can never be made right. The question is, are we going to make it right? You know, one of the tricks they're using on Manafort, because they think President Trump is going to issue him a pardon. So the state of New York's going after him with charges that if convicted, he cannot be pardoned by the president, not for state crimes. I understand the dilemma somewhat in Washington, dividing the big state, how it's all meshed together. What I don't understand is the crimes that Hillary and her cohorts have committed against this nation also have been committed against the states, individually and separately. So can you imagine, not one state attorney general has had the nerve to come forward and charge Hillary. Not one. It's a little mind-blowing when you think about the extent to which our country is under the control of a criminal cabal. How big it is. Can you imagine how big this crime syndicate is? Can you even imagine a crime syndicate so big, so powerful, that it can control the country, the whole country, and above that, the most prosperous, most powerful country in the world, this criminal syndicate has absolute control of this nation. Unless we the people stop it. We need us little people. We need the little people. The little people that have been used, little people that have been taxed, little people that have been lied to, the little people that have been used. And no one in elected office that we know of as yet has done the job that we've sent them there to do. We have that president, half of our government, half the Congress, that instead of doing their daily job that they were elected to do, instead of doing the work for the people, they've totally dedicated themselves to one thing and one purpose only. That's to trash President Trump. I believe, firmly, I think if you reflect on it, you will as well. They don't care about Washington, D.C. Independent of the crime syndicate, somebody that's outside the crime syndicate, somebody that is not answering to the power, the true power, which is the money that they get from the criminal organization. Think about it. Think about that poor man, Donald Trump. Oh, I know he's rich. I know he's a billionaire. I know all that. Just think about it. Think about what he's up against. All he's trying to do in his way, it's what he thinks is right for the country. And from all the things we've seen thus far, the things he's tried to do and is doing, golly gee, has been somewhat successful. Wouldn't it be something if the whole nation could take pride in the growth that he has helped us get? Wouldn't it be something if everybody in your neighborhood respected the job he was doing and what he was doing for the country instead of hating him? Oh, I tell you, hate's a powerful, powerful weapon. Democrats have mastered it. They understand it. The problem they have is I understand it. I intend for using against them. Now the Democrats have their own problem. They've got this young group, this AOC and OR. I mean, I found it hard to believe that we would elect, or some state would elect, to go to Congress to represent the people of her district that believes every person in her district that is not a Muslim is a human. Can you believe that? Can you believe those people elected a person that believes anybody that's not a Muslim in this country is not human? How on earth have we been able to debase ourselves to that point to where somebody like that would be in an office such as the United States representative? It's beyond me. By the way, Miriam, let's go ahead and let people start sending their questions now.
We've got some.
All right, let's let them rip.
All right, the first one, going along with what you were saying about the fact that nobody's being indicted yet. One comment was they'd be killed if they stepped out of line and did that. And the question that came in for that was, why is McCabe not indicted?
Well, I have to be careful what I can tell you, but y'all listen to me real close. I am telling you that soon, within the next few weeks, there will be indictments. Indictments that relate to the Clinton Foundation and to Uranium One. These will be low-level indictments designed specifically for the purpose of getting those people to flip on people above them. And hopefully it will walk us all the way to the truth. Things are being done. Things are being done that you just don't know about yet. What else?
Do you think with gas prices going back up, are they about to tank the economy?
No, I do not. I do not believe this economy under President Trump is going to tank. There are going to be ups and downs. That's the world of business. It is. I don't like it, but it is. It's not going to tank. Now, the only thing that could make me wrong about that is if the Democrats are successful. The Democrats would be willing. Now, folks, this is what is scary. The Democrats who have control of Congress, of the House,
Have we lost some statute of limitations on what we would like to have seen happen?
We have lost some. We have. I'm not going to lie to you. We have lost some. But that's one of the reasons these investigations have got to come forward, and they are. It is to protect the integrity of the statute of limitation. As long as I understand it, this is my understanding from people that damn well should know, as long as these cases are approached through the legal system, you can restart the statute clock. So there are statutes that have run out, fortunately not for the major things that we want to have revealed. And look, we don't have to have all the crimes these people have committed. We don't have to have all of them. Any one of them should be sufficient to put anybody in prison for a long time. And especially when you're dealing with the Clinton Foundation and you're dealing with your main one. So that y'all know neither of those cases are going to be protected fully by statute of limitations, because they both deal in treason. And of course, there is no statute on that. What you got?
Have you heard anything about Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
I've heard a lot of rumors and a lot of conspiracy-minded stories that she's really dead, but they're not letting anybody know because they don't want Trump to appoint somebody else. I have checked on that, not within the past month, but I have checked on it. She's quite alive, quite very much alive. She is holding out, no doubt. She does. She's going to do everything in her power to hold on to that position as long as she can, and hopefully be able to stay there past the 2020 election so that Trump doesn't get to appoint another Supreme Court member. But to all of those of you that have heard the stories that she's dead, it's not true. Not true. And I can assure you, my source on that is damn accurate.
Should be. We don't have any more questions, but I have one, Larry, with what we talked about earlier about what's happening in Ohio. For example, I'm going to say, for example, what happened in New York, what happened in Virginia, what happened now has happened on the opposite side in Ohio with the pro-life issue and the abortion. Ohio's.
Why don't you tell them what happened in Ohio?
Yeah, I'm just starting that. Oh, yeah, Ohio Senate. Sure, Ohio Senate yesterday voted for the heartbeat bill again. They had approved it all the way through the House and Senate last December, and last November, and Kasich vetoed it.
What is a heartbeat bill?
The heartbeat bill says, and this is what Iowa has already passed, and I think their governor has signed it, I think. The heartbeat bill is once the heartbeat of the baby can be detected, it is illegal to abort the baby in that state.
Okay.
And so and then we also discussed the Sixth Circuit Court saying that ruling, and the Sixth Circuit covers Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee. And the Sixth Circuit said that a woman may have the right to an abortion depending on what this law, the heartbeat law, does, but that a doctor does not have a constitutional right to perform an abortion. And the state can deny funding to Planned Parenthood. And so
let's talk Mary Ellen about the good news or bad. The good news is what Mary Ellen and I have worked on since 2016 for sure, is that the states need to reclaim their power. It's wonderful for me to see states standing up and claiming their domain. campaign claiming their power, their sovereignty. More states should do that. We should strip Washington, D.C. of all of these extraneous powers that they have created for themselves over the states. The states have the power. The federal government does not. And so I salute Ohio and the other states that are taking actions themselves, making their own decisions for their own people. Where there's a little slip in the hiccup here is the Sixth Circuit Court has ruled, as she said, what she did. What I fear is that the supporters of the Planned Parenthood and that way of thinking, that they flip it to another court venue before it goes to the Supreme Court. It's not done often. It's not, I don't think it's even legal. But hold on and watch. If it goes from there to the Supreme Court, with the president make up the Supreme Court, there's a good chance that it will be upheld. But if they flip it out of the sixth into another jurisdiction that ends up going its way through the 9th or the 11th or the 95th, whatever, we won't get such a positive reading. So, good for Ohio, good for all the other states that have done the same.
The other thing that Larry and I discussed was how much is happening at the state level all across the country. I spent quite a bit of time on the phone today with somebody from Oregon, and the laws that they are passing, they are coming so fast and furious, reducing the voting age to 16, putting through cap and trade, putting through basically the Green New Deal. They're voting on that. Maryland voted yesterday for physician-assisted suicide. I don't know if it went past just the House, but I know the House did. And how I discussed with Larry the difficulty in keeping an eye on what's going on at the federal level and keeping an eye on what's going on at the state level. I mean, we can tear our hair out trying to chase after doing something about all this legislation everywhere, the way even the states are trying to destroy our country. I made the comment that there are states that are passing some good laws, and there are states passing terrible laws, and there are states that are doing a mix of good and bad. And Larry made the comment that, you go ahead.
You're cutting out, so it's hard to understand you. I will say this, that's the beauty of the states reclaiming their power. If you live in a state that the legislature is enacting laws that are against your beliefs, against the way you want to live and move to a state that's more conducive to your way of thinking and living and believing. That's the beauty of it. I don't want all states to have to conform to just what I want. That would be just as narrow-minded as the other side. You know, that's the option we have. That's the way it was set up. You know, that's the way it should be. So don't fall into that trap. I mean, I'm not supporting states that are doing bad things. I'm not, you know, like Vermont making it legal to kill a baby after he's born. I'm not supporting that in any way. And I'm not condoning it in any way. And I'm not forgiving them in any way. No way, no way. But if that's how they choose to live, there's nothing I can do about it. And what Mary and I were talking about is how do we were talking about me and her, that's what we're talking about. You know, I had to make a decision. Do I want to get involved with the state government and resolve the state and local government? Is that better for me? Or is it better for me to devote my time to try and want to get involved with all the state and local stuff, but she wanted to go with us and try to stop socialism at the national level.
And Larry, I'm going to jump in and say one reason Larry and I agreed that my sticking at the federal level with Larry was wise was because my state of Maryland has a very good organization that is doing what I would want to do. And I will participate with them when I get a chance to do something quite simply, but they are being aggressive, and they are taking it on, and they are spreading the word, and there are people getting involved. And so I can focus at the federal level. There are other states where they don't have enough of an organization of folks that are like-minded to us. And so we've got our gal in Oregon who's really right now concentrating on trying to spread the word of what the state is doing.
And, let me say to all of you, this is a decision each one of you need to make. I mean it. I know that sounds terrible, but right now, the amount of time, energy, thinking, thought that's got to be put into fighting socialism nationally should be to anyone involved all-consuming with your time that you can spend on something like this. Be careful about splitting yourself up. That's all we're saying. Just be careful about splitting yourself up. In Mary Ellen's case, she did know of some group that's active. Maybe in your state there's not. That may be a decision you want to make. You may want to move in that direction. If you do, God be with you. Give it hell. Give it all you got.
Of course, Larry,
we're in a struggle for this country. We're in a struggle for the country. And those of us that are trying to get in front of that struggle and trying to help save us from socialism, and I understand that we become a socialist country, the power of the state's gone. If they are successful in Washington and they convert us to socialism, there will be no states as such. States will just be a geographic area. There will be no power levied to the state.
So when it's time for us, Larry, when it's time for us to work on the impeachment, it's imperative that everybody get on board to help us stop that, right?
You bet. And it's time to fight the impeachment. And it is coming. It is coming. Now the good news is, Pelosi and Schumer have a problem. We talked about it briefly yesterday. I talked about it on Jason's program, so that it linked a little bit. The Justice Democrats will intend to go after moderate Democrats in the 2020 primary. Now, did y'all hear what I said? The Justice Democrats, which is Cortez, AOC, and it's that Omar woman that thinks we're not human. Those people have made up their mind that they're going to go after moderate Democrats in the primary. This is going to give us a little bit of help in 2020. If we can get the candidates, and I'm talking about everyday people running for Congress, if we vote for the House and the Senate, if we can get good people running, what happens in the Democratic Party, which is one of the problems Pelosi has with AOC and Omar and that group, is the fact that when they get through roughing each other up in the Democratic primary, it costs whoever wins a lot of money and moves their support going into the general election. It simply weakens the candidates. Historically, the Democrats have been good. Give them credit. They have been good at keeping their house in order. The Republicans, on the other hand, have suffered the consequence of squabbling and fighting within the party during their primaries. But this time, it looks like there's going to be trouble for the Democrats. So we can look at that as a favor, as a big help for what we need to do in 2020. Remember, we've got to save President Trump in 2020. That's a got to. But at the same time, anybody does. Now, do I want the House turned over to Republicans? Yes. Do I like Republicans? No. Do I trust the Republicans? No. Then why did I say I want the House turned over to Republicans? Well, in a two-party system, that's our only choice. We see the reality of the Democrats in there. But here's what I want. I want the House controlled by Republicans, but I want the Republicans made up of candidates of ours, of regular people that get in the race, just as truck drivers and waitresses and secretaries and plumbers and carpenters. That's who we should have there, not professional politicians. Any more questions around?
Yeah, somebody was asking how can we stop Trump from being impeached even though we know he hasn't done anything wrong, and how do we get William Barr to do his job?
Well, the answer is we can't stop him from being impeached. Now, remember what I told you about the impeachment process. Impeachment itself, think of it as a grand jury. It's conducted by the House only. And that's where they determine whether there's enough evidence to present to the Senate for a trial. The trial in the Senate is what will remove him from office or keep him there. So remember that. So if the House impeaches him, he's still in office. It just goes to a trial in the Senate. Presently, there is nothing we can do. I believe there's nothing we can do with the Democrats in control of the House. If they want to impeach President Trump, they're going to. But the Senate is the problem. The Senate, theoretically, is controlled by the Republicans. So one might think, well, so what if he gets impeached in the House? The Senate will set him free. It's not true. I don't trust Mitt Romney and a host of others. There are enough turncoat Trump and ever-Trumpers that call themselves Republicans in the Senate that I'm not so sure that they couldn't muster up the vote to have him out of office. That's where we'll have to fight. Originally, we were going to fight in the House. Originally, that was the plan when the House was controlled by Republicans. If we could shut down the vote in the House for impeachment, we got it whipped, right? That was the plan. The past election took care of that. Now the House is controlled by Democrats. We, with our phone calls, will have very little sway over the Democrats. We really won't have much power with them. So I say we can't really do anything in the House. And we're going to try. There's stuff we're going to do. We're going to make it hard for them to impeach him. But if they are absolutely hell-bent as a unit, if the Democrats stand together in lockstep, he's toast. Now here's the magic. They want to time his impeachment process, when this impeachment's going on. They want to time it so that it's going on during the presidential campaign. Because they believe, as I've told you before, that there is no way a sitting president could win re-election, if he's under the impeachment process or trial, whatever you would call it, during the campaign. Now, we know that if we focus on the presidential race towards, if you go for the Democrat
There was one more, and this is going to be our last question. Can someone run if they have a criminal record, but they're doing well now and want to stay straight?
I don't think so. I do not think so. I think you cannot run for federal office anyway if you are a felon. Now, if you've been charged and convicted with a misdemeanor, yes, you can. But if you're a felon, I don't believe you can.
What about at the state level?
Yeah. Well, that's what I was fixing to say. You can check. I would check even at the federal level, but I would check also your state, because your state might waive that requirement. It might not be one. Look, guys, everyone, if we can't run, if I can't run, you can't run, whatever. We can do a lot if we find somebody that we do trust, someone we do trust that will run. What is killing us is we let this two-party system destroy us. It's destroying us. Because with the two-party system, the way it's set up, the way it has been set up for years and years, I know because I was a part of it. It was set up to give you only the choice between lesser of two evils. And in most cases, both parties are rigged. Well, you saw in the last presidential election with Hillary, Bernie Sanders, and Trump, with all of the others in the Republican Party, you saw firsthand all of the mechanics inside these parties and how they trick and play the rules and change the rules to make sure whoever they win gets it. And it doesn't matter who we want. Well, now we can change that. That system does not work. Their tricks do not work. If we stand up and are counted, if you'll vote in this next election, if you'll vote smartly, if you'll ask for paper ballots, if you'll make sure somebody is monitoring that polling place. It doesn't have to be that way. We proved that. Trump proved that. Trump proved for all of us the system can be beat. The system's not infallible. It's just never been challenged. We're going to challenge it this time. We're going to do everything in our power, all of us, to make sure this is as nuts up an election as there can possibly be. There will be some election fraud. There will be some voter fraud. I'm not going to say we'll get all of it, but we can sure as hell stop more than we did in 2016, and we stopped a lot in 2016, and we're going to stop more this time. Everything that pertains to the future of your children and your grandchildren right now sits squarely in your hands. Yours. We'll have as good a government as you're willing to fight for. We'll have as honest a government as you're willing to fight for. But it's in your hands. And so that means it's up to you. Are you in or are you out? But don't tell me you're in and you're not going to do anything except listen. I don't want to hear that. Time's up for that. Time is up for that. I don't want to hear you say that you believe in some of these nonsensical conspiracy things that are out on the internet. I don't hear that in times after that. Now you've got to use real discernment. Use your damn brain. You've got to see through these stories that are out there. Most of them on their face, if you just think, if you just work through the process, you're bogus. I know we want to believe. We want to believe ain't the same thing. Just believe in the truth. Truth cannot be something you just just our country. Time for playing games is over. The problem with the social media world, people fly around. This person's got several 100,000 viewers and listeners, whatever you call it, on that stuff now. Tomorrow it goes to somebody else. Tomorrow somebody else comes up with something else, and here everybody goes again in another direction. And the rumors spread like wildfire. Somebody put something out, and in a matter of seconds it spread throughout the whole country. Now that's wrong. It's not wrong, it's just bull. You gotta stop it. I can't do it for you, you gotta do it. I know I get asked all the time, what about this person? What about that person? You think that person knows something? You think that person's really got somebody? You think he's really in on the inside? I can say in 99% of the cases, no. No, they just don't. If you understand the law having to deal with security clearances, and the security clearances that some of these people must have to be in their jobs, to believe that they're out spreading some of the stuff that's out is wrong. They're not going to do it. They're not going to risk the rest of their life in living work. Well, yeah, but the media says all the time, got people inside Trump's staff. They've told this to, or they got it from. You should know by now, even CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, any of them, all of them, when they tell you stuff like that, they're usually lying. They're lying. The days of having editors that were tough, publishers that were tough, and before a story could get on, even if it had a secret source, an inside source, the editor had to have verification. I mean, those days are gone. Now any reporter can come into ABC News and say, I've got somebody on the inside, and as long as it says something bad about Trump, they go with it. But by now, you all should be able to see how many times these deep inside sources they supposedly have turned out to be 100% wrong. So the same that happens to them, you better be careful, because it's probably happening to your favorite internet show or whatever you call it. And I will say it, that Q guy, or Q, whatever it is, guy, or whatever, I don't think damn on it. I just don't. Too much stuff that I've been told, although I don't read it. I'll admit that. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Too much of the stuff I've heard from people that they have interpreted it to be, it's just been absolute bogus trash. No, he's not a general on the inside of Trump's organization. No, he's not. And no, he hasn't had one. I hate to tell you. And I'm not doing that to be the truth police for the social media world. That's not what I do. But eventually I get so tired of hearing this stuff that even I have to say something on my behalf that I don't believe it. You believe what you want, but I don't. Marilyn, you got anything?
That's it for today, Larry. Thank you. Folks, remember that he needs help on a daily basis.
Yeah, I want to say that had anything much come in. So if you want us to keep putting out, if you want us to keep doing the program, we need your help. That's not, I think, asking too much. But folks, if you can today, let me know you're out there. Send to my PayPal account, Nichols Live at AOL.com. Nichols Live at AOL.com. you have to keep it up. So, Mary Ellen, thank you. And folks, thank you. And good day.